Harlan. Mark, Grace, how are you?
Hey, Gary.
Right. Everybody's coming in through here. There's Mike. Guys, Mike, good to see you. As everybody's joining in here, you should have gotten a text message and an email yesterday with a link to a replay page like this. If not, then I'll get this into the chat here in a second. So this is it's recapping the last couple of days, so day one and day two. So today we're going to talk more about where to find real estate investors, how to get in touch with them, initial conversations with them, really owning the new golden rule of he who has the gold makes the rules, and how to qualify from upfront, what questions to ask. I wish that I would have recorded the call that I had maybe like 30 minutes ago. It was a great example of when someone's that's unqualified, how to get them, how to gracefully dismiss and point them in the right direction, as well as being able to get your questions out early on that qualify credit, cash, and experience. As far as what we've gone over the last couple of days, anyone have any initial questions or any issues with getting signed up on the broker partner programs with the lenders? This was a question before. Kiabi asked what states are we licensed in? What do we say? You just say nothing. I mean, if you're not licensed, then you don't have to. You're just not going to be able to do deals in New Jersey, North Carolina, Minnesota, or no, I'm sorry, New Jersey, North Carolina, Arizona, Nevada, and California. Grace, you working on any wholesale deals?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
But I do need to get in touch with you because I you were gonna share with me like before your life as a broker, you were a wholesaler. But well, I'll text you.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
Anyone have have you guys taken some steps to talk to some borrowers or reach out to any borrowers, potential real estate investors that you want to work with? Um, and how has that been?
Yeah, I reached out to a couple of friends and fellow realtors. And another realtor actually in my brokerage, he started doing the same thing too. But
Nice.
I don't know like with which company. So since you are social media uh hard money Gary, and
That's
I
me.
said I want to be hard money Gracie.
There we go.
I'm
I
gonna
like
copy
that.
you. I'm gonna copy you, buddy. I'm gonna copy you definitely. Be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna swipe it.
There we
R
go.
and D or R&D or your content there, my friend.
That's how everyone will know our brand here. We'll have Hard Money Harlan over there. We'll have Hard Money Gracie. There already is a Hard Money Michael. I'm sorry, Mike. So you'll have to be like Hard Money Geo or something. Okay, so today I want to talk more about how to get with real estate investors, both offline and online, and how to approach them, how to talk to them, initial conversations. Uh, I did upload into the mini course earlier this week. I put in there the call script. So if you guys are ready to take anyone over the phone, this is a good resource for you. So over in the mini course, and then at the bottom is resources, and then here's the call script. Okay. So the first things that we want to do when we are looking to work with real estate investors is we have to find where the real estate investors are. And without a doubt, the best way to build your network of real estate investors initially without spending any money on ads uh, is going to be going out in person to real estate meetups. So, the fastest way to find where those are happening is to go to meetup.com. And I know that Grace is in St. Louis, so we'll just kind of throw this one up here. But if I put in St. Louis, Minnesota, or sorry, Missouri, and then we put in real estate, slow today. Then look at all of these different opportunities to go and meet with people. Okay. Your goal when starting out is going to be this is like your only job. If you want to seriously build your network, then you have to commit to 3 to 4 months of going to these meetups because they may meet more than once a month, but most likely they're going to meet once a month. And what I would encourage you to do is find at least 3 to 4 that are meeting monthly and go to those over the next 3 to 4 months. So if you find 4 groups that meet monthly over the next 3 months, that's 12 opportunities that you will have to introduce yourself and grow your network personally. If there's something that's impacting your ability to go out in person, like you got kids or another job or another business, or your schedule doesn't allow for it and you can't find something in your area, then you are going to have to lean on some alternative ways to get things done, which is going to be online. But without a doubt, the most cost effective way without spending any money on ads or anything else to build your network that's going to be solid for a referral is going to be going out to in-person real estate meetups. Now, your approach, if you're coming into this with some sort of already a background in real estate agent or a property manager, insurance, accountant, CPA, if you already have some another skill set that you can add value to the group, then at least you can talk about that, and then the loan brokering will be as a secondary. But if you're going into it just to do brokering of the loans, I don't advise clubbing people over the head with you got a deal, you got a deal, you got a deal. I want to fund it, want to fund it, want to fund it. That's not going to be the approach that you want, because you are immediately going to be met with, well, what's your rate? What's your price? And that's going to put you on defense. That's not you leading the conversation. That's not you qualifying the client up front. That's you defending your position as making yourself feel legitimate. It's defending your legitimacy. Okay. You definitely don't want to do that. So We're going to these meetups over the next 3 to 4 months, as often as they meet up, and you're grabbing their business cards and their contact information so that you can then later set up meetings or conversations for you to figure out who they are, what they're out there doing, and how you could possibly help them. As brokers, we're facilitators, we are connectors. We want to be the plug. We want to be the person that they think of first when they have a deal to get funded. Now, the law of reciprocity means that we got to do something for somebody else worth of value. And then hopefully in return, they see that value and then want to work with us and do business on the back end. We want to be able to give first. That way we can earn their business later on. Now, if you're already doing things like maybe something that you uh, can do because you have time available, maybe someone needs a runner to go take pictures of a property. Maybe someone needs somebody to go back and forth from Home Depot or Lowe's, and you want to just get and build some value through getting involved with their project. And this is just getting you in the door to real estate in general. But if you already have a skill set, like I said, you're an accountant, you're a financial advisor, you're a real estate agent, property manager, contractor already, then you have a skill set that you can at least open the conversation up and then say, by the way, I do have lender connections. If you have a deal that's coming up, would have to be a second or third option. Definitely the way that I always present myself when I'm making a new relationship, as I don't want to club somebody over the head that you need to work with me. I'm the best. I'm this, I'm that. Because as a hard money lender, and especially as working with the lenders that we work with, there's nothing special about our pricing. There's nothing special about our pricing. And quite frankly, we're not trying to be the lowest rate. We're definitely not trying to be the lowest points just to earn business. We want to work with qualified folks that have good credit, enough cash to be able to put down and get started on their rehab project, that are actively looking for deals and can justify the mechanics of their deal within a short conversation. Any questions about that? Okay. So, the most important thing that we want to understand up front without wasting any time with a potential borrower when they do have a deal is cash, credit, and experience. If you're on the phone with somebody, then you can probably see the timer within the first 5 to 7 minutes. You have to be able to get answers to those questions to make sure that the next 5 to 7 minutes are going to be worth your time. Whether it's going to be actually qualifying the deal and going into a terms conversation, or being able to point them in the right direction to what they need to do in order to be able to work with you. Okay. So, how do we find borrowers if we're not going to real estate meetups? This is where we have to leverage social media. I built a brand. I built Hard Money Gary. We got over 30,000 followers on TikTok, close to 3,000 followers on Instagram. Where I put out content regularly in different formats, skit, here's how, info dumping. I go live on TikTok regularly. Those are where free lead sources come organically. You have to have an expertise in something in order to be able to go out there and start to showcase your skill set, because that's what that is. The alternative is to go and do a cold approach. The same things are going to apply when you're doing the cold approach. When I first started to build my network online, I did use Facebook, and I still do use it today. So, Facebook groups, those same what is going to allow you to go nationwide is joining as many Facebook groups as possible. Okay. So now I have probably close to, yeah, over almost 300 different real estate and business networks that I'm in so that my feed is constantly people that are talking about real estate deals that they're closing on, looking for recommendations on lenders and contractors and all that other stuff. This is going to take time. And if you want to build a way for you to get tagged in other posts, because as a referral, you're going to have to do some value commenting. All right. In the school group, I did a short video that I posted in the discussion on where I saw somebody had posted about it, about looking for a lender and uh, how to comment on there. But let's just take a look at this group with 10,000 members. Grace, this one's for you. So, St. Louis real estate investors. Okay. We can go through here and see that people are posting about it. Hey, I have cash buyers list. All right. Those are people trying to sell info. I have a line on a vacant here. These people that are responding, that are saying information, whatever. Hey, they're out there, they're active in the group. It wouldn't be out of the question to go and send them a message. The kind of message that you want to send is something that you also would want to say in person, like you were at a real estate meetup. You don't want to club them over the head and say, "Hey, I'm Gary. I fund real estate deals. Do you have one that you're looking for funds on right now?" Because what does that then reply with? Sure, what's your rate? That's not a conversation that I want to have because again, my terms aren't special. There's millions and millions of lenders. It's a competitive space. Why would somebody want to work with me versus anyone else? It's because I'm trying to add value, create a real relationship, and move from there. So this isn't get rich quick, but there are opportunities where you can close on something where you have something built in your network. You're adding, like, you have another skill set that you can build on top of it, insurance, whatever. That's another skill set. So what I like to do is send a message that is more like this. Hey, I saw that you're in the St. Louis real estate group together, or that we're in the St. Louis real estate group together. Are you looking for flips or rental properties right now? Now you're just looking to see what kind of deals they're doing. That doesn't mean that you're a lender. I've gotten responses back of all different types for that. Oh, you got a deal? Are you a wholesaler? Why? What you got? Oh, I'm in this group. I'm looking for I do fun deals, but just trying to make a relationship. If you have anything right now, I'd be happy to take a look, but you probably already have a lender that you're more comfortable with. Oh, I don't have anything right now, but that's cool. Uh, do you know anyone that has a flip or whatever? That's where the conversation should go. You want to be a second or third option. You want to, you don't want to be the one to be clubbing them over the head. This is a sale where there are plenty and plenty of leads out there. Everybody's looking for money. You're selling the ultimate resource. It's something that everybody wants. Okay. You want to work with people that are qualified. So if they tell you that they're looking for multifamily or they're looking for or they focus on subject to or they're wholesalers. If they're wholesalers, then you say, okay, well, you got anything that you're looking to move right now? And now you can start to figure out what kind of deals are out there. Most likely, if they have something and they're talking about it on Facebook, it's not the best deal in the world because otherwise their first cash buyer would have bought it. But it's still something to bring to the table. Some rules of engagement that I like to follow is I'd like to have some mutual friends with anyone that I want to send a cold message to. If you don't have any mutual friends in the real estate space, you're going to have to not abide by that until you start to build it up. But 20 or so mutual friends shows that, hey, we know the same people, or at least like we look to know the same people, and we can have a conversation. This is all propped up by value commenting as well. Here are some examples of what a post will look like when someone's looking for a hard money lender. So I'll go over to the groups section here and I'll just plug in hard money. I'll do posts and then I'll try and find one where it's like, I'm looking for hard money. Any recommendations on hard money? Here's what we don't do. We're not going to go out there and blast our shit and be like, fast, easy, no, no. No, that's why there's no comments here because it looks like you're fake. It looks like you're trying to sell something. No one sees that, and there's no value in that. Come on, something's got to pop up. I saw one this morning. Okay, so now that's a different group. All right, let's just do lender recommendations. Okay. Hey group, I'm looking for some lender recommendations for my client. He needs to do a DSCR loan for a condo that he plans, blah, 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 blah. 22 comments. I bet you it's gonna be, sure, we can help, or blasting your website there, or putting your email out there. Can hit that easily. Ping me. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. We're gonna go out there and we'll say something like, well, this is a little bit late, so I might just go straight to the DM for Chloe, and I'll say, oh, look, I even sent her a friend request before. Or I'll say, hey, Chloe, saw you were looking for a DSCR loan a couple weeks ago. How'd that work out? Now, she may respond, she may not, but this is the style of engagement that we want. And then we go here and we go DM sent. That's it. We want to let them know that we sent a DM. It pulls up a thing, even if it was a long time ago. No one that commented on here is following up with the message that they sent 2 weeks ago. 100% guarantee you that. No one is following up because they see it. They put their thing in there like, DM me, I'm cool. Or hit me up, I got this. No. We want to give the soft approach. We want to be able to give value. If somebody's talking about, you know, a certain type of project, if they're saying, does anyone know a hard money lender that, or a DSCR lender that can do a mixed use project? That's where we would say something like, mixed use is kind of tough. It might be capped at 65, 70% LTV. Happy to go over options, sending a DM. And then you follow up and send a DM. The more that you do that and the more that you participate in the conversation, people are going to see it. And then when they go and review comments or anything, and you start to be consistent about posting every time that someone requests for a lender, which is very often in these groups, then and you actually start to have conversations with people in the DMs and on phone calls, that's where people start to tag you. Even if they've never done business with you, if you have a high quality conversation with someone, they're going to tag you. Or at least that's been my experience. Okay. So those are two ways to build up your roster of potential real estate investors. And if you combine these two strategies where you're going out to real estate meetups, 3 to 4 meetups over the next 3 to 4 months, and you're going to go to those consistently. You join, 5 to 10 real estate investing groups per week over that time frame, and you start to comment on things and DM people and start to do friend requests and build that out. People will start to respond. You will have people that are interested because money is a desirable product. It's something that everybody wants. They're at least going to want to know what you have to offer. And then positioning yourself to qualify whether you guys can do business with each other is the next step. Okay. So who would like to role play as a borrower? Anyone?
All right, I'll do it.
All right, Grace, thanks for participating. I appreciate you. Okay, so I'm going to give you the rundown. You are looking to fix and flip a deal. Uh, Let me know anything that your client may be looking at right now or a wholesale deal. Just try and sell it to me.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Grace, thanks for hopping on the call. It looks like you have a deal that you're looking to get funded.
Yeah. Hey, Gary. Thank you so much for your gift of time. So I have a client that's looking to fund something. It's a fix and flip. I was wondering what exactly are the qualifications so he can apply for this. He's never done a hard money loan before. Um, so
Okay. So for newbies, we can get them approved with as little as 10% down towards the purchase price. We just need to understand a little bit more about the purchase price, rehab budget, what the property's going to be worth once it's all fixed up, and then, obviously cash and credit available. So can you fill in those gaps for me?
I could try the best I could. What
Okay.
information would you like to know?
Sure. What's the address of the property?
123 Banana Street, in St. Louis.
Awesome. Is that listed online or is it through a wholesaler?
It is through a wholesaler right now.
Sweet. And are you guys already under contract or is they're just offering up?
So they're just offering up right now. Actually, I'm in contact with, actually, I know the owner, but I don't have the means to get it. So I referred it over to this investor. I
Damn, Grace, I wish you would have gotten it under contract, then we could get you paid. Are you wholesaling it or what?
know. So,
Okay.
okay, so like the information on this house, after repair value, it's 375.
Okay. Did you come up with that on your own or do you have any comps?
So I have comps for that.
Sweet.
And it needs a lot of work. There's issue with the foundation. And also the owner like created this structure in his backyard and it's no permits were pulled, so it's an illegal structure. Um,
Man, this looks like a mess.
it's
Okay.
a mess. So right now, the seller is actually offering it for 225.
225 and it's gonna be worth 375 once it's all done. What
Mm-hmm.
how much do you think it's gonna cost to rehab it?
100 grand, easy.
Okay, so I'm hearing 325 with a 375 ARV. How is the how is anyone supposed to make money on that deal?
I know there's not a lot of meat on the bones here, so
Okay. If it's going to be that tight with the cost to ARV, the borrower's going to need to bring some significant cash. How much are they working with? Do you know?
I know that he has 50K.
50K might not be enough. Let's run it through. Okay, guys. So we're definitely looking for so when I heard her say the 225 buy price and then $100,000 rehab budget, automatically I put that together to figure out the total cost. Purchase plus rehab is total cost. And then what we're trying to target when we're listening to hear what the borrower is saying is we want to know that they're going to make money. Okay. I have more than two. Like people are selling Forex and like doing all sorts of stuff on there. Okay. Uh, when I'm hearing that 325 over 375, I want to hear something closer to where the purchase and rehab number is going to be about 70% of the ARV. That way I know that the borrower is going to be able to put down a down payment and we can still be within a profit margin where they can make money, right? So in this scenario, 225 plus 100,000, sorry, 225 plus 100,000. I'd love to have heard more like a 370 or a 375 ARV. That way I knew that the borrower was going to be able to make money on the deal. All right. That doesn't mean that we won't be able to get this deal funded. It's just the borrower is going to have to bring significantly more cash because, as we understood in when we talked about hard money on Monday, the loan to ARV is going to max out at 75%. So that's the max loan amount that they have. If there was any, if the rehab budget, or sorry, so working backwards, if it's a 375 ARV, then we'd want at most, the loan amount is going to be 281,000. So what the difference is between their 325 rehab budget or total cost, they'd be bringing 43,750 as a minimum for their down payment towards the purchase price. Does that all make sense for you guys? Okay.
Gary, I got a question for that. So like with
Sure.
that 50K available, did you take that into account?
So the 50K is fine. It's just even up front, I want to make sure that the borrower is going to be able to make money on the deal because keeping in mind that we have two clients on every deal, we have the borrower and we have the lender. Now, the longer that you do this business, it's inevitably going to happen that a borrower is going to have a project that goes sideways and they max out their time on the hard money loan, or even worse, they default or have a foreclosure on there. But the more that that happens, then we mess with where our product is coming from. And if that happens over and over and over again, then we won't be able to have anything to sell. So we got to pre-qualify that deal to make sure that it makes sense. And the underwriters that we are submitting our deal to, they're going to be looking at it with that same lens, maybe even more scrupulous than we do. Okay, so we just went over two ways to find real estate investors and work with real estate investors at no marketing cost. You can go out there and run ads for it, but until you have a way to schedule appointments and be available to respond to inquiries immediately, then putting money out there for ad spend is probably not a good investment for money or time. This week we've gone over hard money, DSCR, how to find the borrowers now, and we are using specific types of lenders. What I want to talk about for the next few minutes here is going to be how to talk to lenders and make sure that they're a good fit for you to add into your Rolodex or who you would like to work with.
Hey, Gary.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get you a little earlier, but my something was going on with my phone. Anyway, the question I had is when you were talking about the Facebook groups, do you use a segmented amount of time to go through all the sites and respond? Do you do a proportional kind of time frame? You know, I do it for 2 hours a day. I do it for 3 hours a day. Versus I know the ideal is to get out and belly bump and get to talk to them, but do you segment your time?
If I was going to build out a brand new, like straight from zero in the loan brokering and do it online, I would try to add between 5 to 10 real estate groups on Facebook per week until you've maxed out your local area where you may have mutual friends. And then while in there, take about, I mean, it's not going to be much. You can run through it quickly, but if you are adding people on Facebook from your personal profile, there's going to be some limitations. It's going to flag you as like a spammer if you send out too many cold messages. I've been in Facebook jail like more times than I can count with how many times I've done it. But the sweet spot is about 25 to 30 messages within a 2 hour period before Facebook says, "Hey, what are you doing?" Especially if it's the same message. Their AI is getting really, really good now, so they can see you sending the same message, and so they'll flag that.
Mm.
So I would say if you take an hour and a half to 2 hours a night, that's more than enough time. You're
Yeah,
scrolling anyway. If you're on social media and you're scrolling anyway, might as well make it worth your time to send out a few messages and add people into your network.
bring them in.
Okay,
Great. Thanks.
so let's get into how do we qualify lenders. Okay, so if you're going to work with more than just the lenders that I've shared with you, RCN, Easy Street Capital, Kiabi, then you need to understand how the back end of this business works. So the back end of this business is that there are balance sheet lenders, which means that they are holding all of their notes, the mortgage notes, on their own balance sheet. That means that they are directly lending from their cash account onto the properties. Those lenders provide advantages by way of draws on rehab, a little bit more flexible in the terms that they can offer for investors, and maybe a little bit more flexible on the types of deals that they fund. Where they are not as competitive is by way of interest rate and pricing of their money up front, because their competition is uh, securitized lenders. And as part of the food chain, we are originating loans, paper, that the securitized lenders are selling to large hedge funds, private equity, and insurance companies. And so the lenders like RCN, they are a large warehouse securitized lender. So they can provide nationwide coverage as long as the deal meets the guidelines of their note buyers. And so they're okay with offering a little bit less interest because they're making money on a spread and they're getting recapitalized as soon as they close on a loan. So when you talk to a lender up front, they're going to give you their spiel. They're going to say, who they are, who they service, same thing as everyone else. Single family 1 to 4s, fix and flips, DSCR, bridge, short-term rentals, things like that. Okay, you're just like everybody else. The first question that you want to ask is, are you a balance sheet lender, or are you securitized? That way you'll know what kind of advantages that they offer in the marketplace, and when a deal comes up, you know how to place the deal with that lender. The second thing that you want to ask is who you're going to be working with. They there are lenders out there that structure their organization uh, where you'll be interacting with an account executive, and they're more or less just a sales guy. They don't have control over the process. They understand probably not even as good as you about their guidelines and processes, but they're there to answer questions and pre-qualify a deal to some extent. But mainly you'll be working with their processor. And that processor, depending on if they are in-house for a balance sheet lender or securitized, they could have anywhere between 25 to 50 loans that they're taking care of at one time. And so understanding who you're working with, primarily, whether it's going to be your account executive or their processor, is important for expected turnaround times. And so the next thing that you want to ask about is, once we have the appraisal back, how fast can we close? And then also, how fast can we get an appraisal ordered in order to stay on schedule for a tight close, especially for hard money? The lenders may have certain requirements before they start actually processing a deal, like paying for a paid appraisal, or having certain documents that are inside of their portal before going to the next step, especially like a Kiavi or an RCN. So you want to be aware of that up front. Notice how I'm not asking anything about rates and pricing, because that's what the lenders want to talk about the most, because that's the only thing that they are really trained on. You want to understand who they are, what they're, how they operate before you get into pricing, because more so than anything else, the same way that you're talking to a borrower, pricing is almost irrelevant when it comes to this side of real estate, because ultimately we're looking to achieve a goal, whether that's fixing and flipping a property or buying a rental property for cash flow. Sure, there's an element of competitiveness when it comes to pricing and rates and what have you. But in my experience, uh, the people that are trying to shop for the lowest rate aren't going to stick around with you that long, and that's why they're shopping, is because they're always trying to chase the lowest rate. They want to be the winners in every single deal. And ultimately, this business is about relationship, and you want to develop a client. That's why we're focusing on the BRRRR method, is because we want to be able to help them build and scale their rental portfolio up front with the hard money, and then refinancing on the back. And then in between, if you guys want to get into the business funding space, the business credit space, that'll help them get money for down payment and rehab costs so that they're not coming out of pocket. That's our 100% funding solution. All right. So if you're able to ask those questions and understand from the perspective of who you're working with and how they operate, you're going to be able to add more lenders to your Rolodex. And then from there, it's still about maintaining the relationship, because if you work with an account executive, you want them to answer your email, you want them to respond to your text or phone call when they also have 20 to 50 loans on their pipeline at any one time. If you need an answer, the better you treat them, the faster that they respond to you. It's a people business. Okay, any questions that you guys have about what we've covered today, as far as finding real estate investors, what questions to ask lenders, anything like that? Okay, so later today, you guys are going to get an email and some information about taking the next step and working with me one-on-one. And I would love to work with all of you. Time will allow me to only work with some of you. We've got Harlan on here and a couple other folks that are already on my calendar for the next, like 12 weeks. What that looks like, it's a 12-week program. We're going to work together to develop what your business is going to look like. We're going to talk about specific strategies on how you can market yourself and get out there and put your brand together, like Hard Money Gracie's going to be doing soon when she gets her handles ready. And we'll be able to do deal reviews on any deals that come up. We'll do practice role play sales calls, just like we did here in front of everybody. If what my goal is to help you be more like, I want to be like your sales manager, but you have your own independent sales organization. And the way that I have structured the pricing for this is I want it to be an investment so that you guys are committed to the process and building out and improving upon yourself, but also uh, not so much so that it's going to put you in a financial imposition. And I want you to be able to earn that investment back on your first deal. So it's 2,500 for 12 weeks, one on one. We'll be meeting anywhere from a half hour to 45 minutes every week. This is on top of all of the materials that are in the school group. We're going to have our own loan broker elite school group where the one-on-one clients and all of us together that are building out our businesses are going to be able to share more ideas and more intently. We're going to have additional group coaching calls similar to this throughout the week. And more to come about that. That's going to be outlined in the email. So if you guys are ready to do that, or if you have any questions about that, then make sure you book your one-on-one call with me this week. I know that a few people already did book the one-on-one call. If you guys want to talk about that while on the call, I'm happy to do so. If you guys have anything else specific that you want to go over on that call, I'm happy to open up the book for you. That's what you guys are here for the boot camp. So any questions right now? Silence. Okay. Well, I'm going to open up the study guide and see what else we can go over while time allows for the last 15 minutes here. Tomorrow, I'm going to be bringing in some partners in the industry that have their own loan brokerage and have built it out more sophisticated, even so, than I have. They have their own in-house processors. They have advanced level AI marketing and lead gen. And so they're going to be talking about what it looks like when you can take even the further steps and this business starts to work out for you if you want to dive in full time.
Hey, Gary, while you looking that up, I do have a question.
Sure.
Um, I guess with the BRRRR strategy, while you focus on that, as a broker, you would get paid essentially twice off of a BRRRR deal.
That's why I want you guys to focus on the BRRRR strategies because you can offer the fix and flip funding and the DSCR loans. And so with RCN and Kiavi, they offer a 0 point origination on their DSCR loans. So while they do have a base lender point on their hard money side and the fix and flip side, uh, that you can capture revenue on the back end and have a lower overall points for originating the loan. So yes, I'm expecting you to when you have a BRRRR deal, if you're charging 2,500 up front and then 2,500 on the back, each client that you develop as they go through each property, it's potentially $5,000 for you in that scenario, or you can charge whatever you want.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else about how to price out a loan? Happy to talk about that. That's one of my favorite things. Okay. All right. So let's talk about common pitfalls and how to avoid them. So, some things during the sales conversation, when you hit them up front with credit, cash, experience, if there's a story that precludes cash or credit, this is where you need to start peeling back the onion. So, if they say if they're not transparent about where their credit is, then you got to start understanding what the issue is with their credit. Is it high utilization? Do they have too many personal credit cards with balances on them? Did they fall behind on payments? Because even though we do a soft credit check to preserve wherever their credit score is, a lender is going to see lates on there and they're going to see utilization. And so that may flag them with an underwriter and say, hey, it doesn't, because ultimately they're trying to see how well the borrower handles borrowing money. And those all go in together. So if they say some things like, well, it was a 700, but okay, now we need to understand what that but really means. If you ask a question about their experience and they say, I've done a lot of deals for investors, I got a ton of experience, I'm a contractor, da, da, da. Experience is when the person's company, or if they were a member of a business entity that was on title, that purchased a property and then sold it or refinanced it. So that's what we're calling experience. A lot of times you'll talk to contractors and they'll want to bully you into believing all about their experience when it is valid. They do have experience hammering nails and turning screws, but they don't have any experience putting money on the line to purchase a house and then managing a project and then selling it. And that's ultimately what allows them to get better and better pricing if they don't have that great personal credit that I showed yesterday through Kiavi. Newbies with 720 credit, they get that 10% down towards the purchase price. All right. And then compliances. You guys are going to want to store your documents on electronically through some sort of drive. I recommend using Google Workspace because for that $12 a month investment, I think you get like 5 terabytes worth of storage space. So if you can create folders and subfolders to be able to place documents and track where each of your borrowers are and each of the projects and the different documents that you collect for them, that's going to allow you to be more and more organized. Obviously, if you want to use my processors, then we're going to collect everything, and then we'll be able to deliver things back to you in a clean folder, and you'll have access to those files on our shared drive. That's one of the advantages to being in the boot camp, that you can use my processors on the deals. The next thing is you want to have a business entity set up specifically for this business if you don't already have a business entity, because of you don't want to get sued personally for brokering a loan that doesn't go the way that you want it. When you establish each of your individual broker relationships, there's going to be a contract that the lenders send you. And it could be, I've seen broker agreements that are 15, 20 pages long. While you're sitting there doing the deed, maybe you take a little gander and you read through every line just so that you know exactly what happens when things happen. But ultimately, what that agreement is saying is that there's limited liability on the lender's part for any deal that you submit. And some of them do state that if there's a default, a soon default within like 3 or 4 months, then they can claw back or sue you for the origination that you got on the deal. So definitely read through those agreements. All right, we got a few minutes left here. Anyone have any questions about anything overall this week? What it looks like for the next steps? Booking another call. Happy to go over that. Anyone super excited about working one-on-one, go ahead, raise your hand, put it in there. Looking forward to working with you. Going forward to next week, we got slots available in the evening time. I meet with Harlan at like 8:30 at night. That can work for me. Also, this time during the day, we can put our calls here, uh, as long as the schedule allows for it. So during the one-on-one calls that you have available to book this week, we can go over how your business is structured, what your branding looks like, give you a feel for what the one-on-one calls look like moving forward. And yeah, that is it for today, folks. Be on the lookout for the email tonight, and then we'll get started. Gary, can I get my 24-year-old daughter in the business with me, or does she need her own mentorship? You know what, Grace? If you guys are doing your own business then and you want to split it between the two of you, both of you just got to be on the calls when we do them. All right. Sounds good.
Hey Gary, I got a quick question. I know we gotta go. Is there a age requirement for the corporation of your client?
Oh, great question. So no, you can have, so if your client forms a new LLC, we can get that one funded. One of my clients right now, they just completed their legal Zoom like filing and they're waiting on the EIN letter to come back, but we're already in transition to close. They're under contract.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Now for the business funding side, if we're trying to get them business credit cards, credit card stacking, or any other things like that, yeah, we need like 2 years worth uh, of history and profit and loss statements and things like that, especially if we want to go SBA or merchant cash advance or things like that. We can work with LLCs, LLPs, corporations, and S corps. Just for the S corps and the corporations, it just can't be the person's name. It's funky. For compliance reasons, back in 2008, after the crash, then they came up with the Dodd-Frank Act, and it makes it harder for lenders to foreclose on owner occupants. And so to go around that, if it's a business entity, then it doesn't appear the same way in the courts for the foreclosure, and the borrowers are signing off on multiple documents. They're not going to occupy the property to live in. So if anyone, so one things that I do as an unlicensed broker, if anyone ever mentions anything about, hey, I'm looking to buy a property that I want to live in, boom, done. Not talking about that. I don't care who you are. I don't care what the deal looks like. Not fucking around. All right. That's it for today, guys. Shoot me a DM on School Group if you have any additional questions. Also, homework assignment for today is to go and participate in the discussion section on the School Group. I want you guys to leave a review of what we've been able to cover this week. I don't care if it's negative or positive. You can be like, Gary's been full of shit this whole week. I can't believe that I've listened to this for 3 hours and I've gotten nothing out of it. We just need some participation in the conversation in there. I'm looking at the post and it's just me. So if you guys are going to be in here for lifetime, let's start the conversation and start to get to know each other. Okay. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.